Now that Yo-Kai Watch Wibble Wobble has had its first anniversary, it's a great time to look back at the past year and compare it to the Japanese version, Puni Puni. Wib Wob and Puni Puni have many differences in their events, but the large volume of differences isn't apparent until they're compared side by side. Let's take a look at all of the different events Puni Puni has gotten that we haven't. First, let me say a couple things about our look. We aren't going to be getting into the nitty-gritty of each event, because then this video would end up being a few hours long. Likewise, permanent content updates will not be covered either. However, we will be covering the important stuff, including all event-exclusive yokai. We won't be covering events that Yo-Kai Watch Wibble Wobble got, of course, or yokai that were introduced in events and then got added to permanent stages later on. With that out of the way, let's get to it. The first event yokai we missed was introduced before Puni was even released. Usapyon was available to players who pre-registered for the game. If you're confused about what pre-registration is, that's because American applications don't do that very often. Nintendo has done it with all of their apps, but they didn't offer any bonuses as far as I can remember. Japan got the Drakunyan event as their first one, then Mystery Way, just like we did. The differences begin after that. Instead of filling the next 2 months with useless bloat, Japan immediately got the Orcanos Terror Time event after Mystery Way. This doesn't sound very notable at first, but there were a couple of key differences between theirs and ours. Anyone who befriended Orcanos during the event could press a button in the menu to obtain an exclusive Orcanos Busters medal in real life. Since we didn't have the Busters medals over here yet, and we certainly didn't have them back in August for obvious reasons, this was not a part of our event. It still would have been cool to get a Yomotion Orcanos though. Also, instead of getting the Fruit Nyan, Puni got the Momotaro Nyan, of which there are 4 in total. Inu Nyan, Saru Nyan, Kiji Nyan, and Momotaro Nyan himself. They were removed from Wib Wob in favor of the Fruit Nyan because they won't debut internationally until Busters releases in America. 2 months later, Wib Wob got Wismellow Man. NHN continues to amaze. After Orcanos Terror Time, Japan got their first exclusive event from December 19th to January 11th, the Movie 2 event. Based on Yokai Watch the movie, Lord Enma and the 5 Stories Nyan. This event introduced 5 event maps, and a bunch of new recruitable and boss yokai, including 3 Puni exclusives, Nuralihyun, Futsu, and the titular Lord Enma. Players could scan their Enma medals to obtain Enma coins, which they could then crank to obtain a bunch of cool yokai, including Lord Enma himself. In case anyone was hungry for more coins, Puni Puni gave players the opportunity to grind Enma coins off of a Lord Enma boss on a 6th map introduced December 31st. Literally titled Enma's Mansion, this map was based on Enma's throne room in the second movie. The second movie event was an absolutely massive, feature-filled event that we unfortunately received no equivalent to for the first movie's release in North America, despite the potential for one. All we got was a very short, very content-bare Crankakai event. Moving on, Puni Puni then got the Count Cavity Missions event and a Befriend a Boss event, just like Wib Wob did. There isn't much to note there. On March 18th, Puni Puni got their first Sangokshi event. Until April 1st, players could attempt to recruit Orcanos' powerful Sangokshi form in a new type of battle mode. By tapping the event button, players were transported to an endless stage where they would fight waves of yokai, including and eventually exclusively consisting of Orcanos himself. The more Orcanos they defeated, the higher their chances of befriending him. There was a limited supply of regular Orcanos Busters medals available after the Terror Time event, so a live medal supply meter was placed on the event button. Anyone who could befriend Orcanos' new Sangokshi form could get their own Busters medal until supplies ran out, leading to an intense competition. That isn't all though. During the event, 8 new Sangokshi forms of existing yokai were added to the Crankakai. Venoct, Blizaria, Kyubi, Jibanyan, Komasan, Usapyon, Hovernyan, and Komajiro were all available during this part of the event. After that, it was time for part 2 of the Sangokshi event, from April 2nd to April 15th. 3 new event maps were introduced, where players could battle tons of new Sangokshi yokai. Players could earn event points to redeem for prizes, and fight the boss yokai Darknyan Cao Cao in an attempt to recruit him. While they were grinding him for the befriend, Darknyan had the possibility to drop colored coins, mystery coins, cheerful coins, thrill coins, 1-star coins, 5-star coins, or the new Sangokshi coins, which included Sangokshi yokai, including Noruka and Soruka. It was basically a better Mystery Way event. For the thrilling conclusion of the Sangokshi festivities, Puni Puni's first scramble battle took place from April 16th to May 4th. It was a pretty standard scramble battle, but with Sangokshi yokai on the event maps. Altogether, 34 new yokai were introduced during these Sangokshi events. Orcanos, Blizaria, Kyubi, Venoct, Jibanyan S, Komasan S, Darknyan, Nodoka, Sodoka, Komajiro S, Robokoma, Kasanono, Robonyan, Bananos, Kasanuva, Komasan, Jibanyan, Usapyon, Havarnyan, Komajiro, Espi, Tungus, Infor, Tambo, Undi, Scranny, Babylon, Wapir, Buchinyan, Wakapa, Tattletau, Baku, Tungus, and Noko all got new Sangokshi forms. This of course excludes Nodoka and Sodoka, who both debuted in Sangokshi. In case you missed it, this totals to 34 new event yokai, all in one single month. After taking a short break, events resumed a week later with the Detective Konyan event. Konyan was available through a password or secret code from the newest issue of Shonen Sunday, and players who recruited him could use him in a variety of event missions to obtain a ton of soul secrets and other valuable items. After a short break, the relatively lackluster Daily Y Money Missions event took place from June 6th to June 12th. Players could complete extra daily missions to get 1500 Y Money a day. It wasn't much, but 3.5 free cranks in a week is a pretty nice bonus. There's no reason why we haven't gotten this event yet. Puni then had Gargoyle's Terror Time with no notable differences from ours, and they also reran the Refriendaboss event during the month of June as well. Next up, from June 24th to July 10th, was the Mju Scramble Battle event. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Leafy, we got the Yo-Cake Scramble Battle. Wasn't that the same thing? Well, no, not really. First, the Manju were changed to Yo-Cakes for no reason at all, and the ties to Shinuchi were changed for a very good reason. Its localization hasn't been announced yet. Ignoring the aesthetic changes, there are some very major and annoying differences between Puni Puni's Mju Scramble Battle and Wib Wob's Yo-Cake one. First of all, Puni got 5 event yokai in the Crankakai rather than 3, and they were in there for the entire period. In addition to Kirin, Arachnia, and Uber Giko, Puni also got Mermother and Unkeen, the final Kaima executive, in their crank. We still got Mermother as a period reward, but Unkeen has yet to be freed from his Gachapon prison. Additionally, Puni had Kirin and Mermother for all of its top rank rewards instead of limiting Unikirin to 60 players. This would be a pretty minor difference if Wib Wob had Unikirin in its Crankakai like Puni did. After the Mju Scramble Battle, Orcanos Terror Time ran from July 11th to July 15th. It was another Terror Time event, 3 different event maps with the boss Oni to fight and recruit. Unlike Gargaros's, this one introduced 4 new yokai, Liadoni, Hisfit, Reunite, and Seidenki. No one really asked for these guys. I mean, seriously. Who at NHN decided that Hisfit was an absolutely necessary addition to this game? I'm not complaining about new yokai, but... Anyway, that makes a nice total of 5 new yokai for this event. On July 22nd, the Yo-Kai Watch 3 content began rolling in. We aren't even going to cover the permanent content updates, which included, for this first wave, 33 new yokai and the new Dream Roulette. Instead, we'll just talk about the event-exclusive parts. The first of the 3-part batch of festivities was a Tomnyan-themed Ohajiki event. If you're interested in how the new Ohajiki game mode plays, check out my friends Robert and Pigray, who covered it in detail. The important part is that you could get Tomnyan. There were 3 new event maps too, along with 4 new event yokai: Otohime, Yocha, Tsubuyaki, and Ambaribabo. You could also get USA coins that you could use to obtain some of the new American yokai. Yo-Kai Watch 3 Part 2 Electric Boogaloo was an Android Yamada themed Ohajiki event. 3 new event maps, a new Ohajiki game mode to obtain Android Yamada, and 5 new event yokai: Snow Rabby, Android Yamada S, Maru Nageto, Dainashi, and Kung Fu Mahi. The third and final part of the Yo-Kai Watch 3 events was a little different. Yes, there were 3 new event maps, but there was also a new race competition mode. As far as I can tell, it involves clearing sets of yokai as fast as possible. Players were then ranked according to the lowest time, and the highest ranking players could then obtain an exclusive item they could fuse with the KK brothers to obtain their S-rank forms. The 6 new event-exclusive yokai introduced in this part of the event were Gekikara Boy, Ashura, Karura, Keikoma S, Keijiro S, and Ie. Ending off the major Yo-Kai Watch 3 events was a new Score Attack Big Boss that ran from August 29th through September 4th, making these Yo-Kai Watch 3 events total exactly 1 month in length. Scoring high against Mosu Monmon would reward you with Tamyan's Bell, which you could fuse with Tamyan to create Tamyan S. Right off the cuff of that Score Attack event was the Popcorn Scramble Battle, Puni's 3rd Scramble Battle during its first year. Players chose their favorite protagonist to join up with Keita, Fumi, or Inaho fans. I'll be choosing Inaho, of course. New yokai were added via stages and via the Dream Roulette, with 4 being event exclusive: Zero Hakase, The Shark, Karayaburi, and Okurairi. It ran from September 5th to September 19th. Immediately after, from September 20th to October 3rd, was the Mugulnyan event. Final Fantasy XIV got their side of the event in America last year, so this is something we really should have gotten by now. There was an Ohajiki battle with the adorable Mugulnyan, 3 new event maps, and a total of 5 new event-exclusive yokai: Mugulnyan, Origin, Anojo, Ryu, and Osawa. That wasn't all for the Final Fantasy content, though. There was also a race battle for Chocobo-nyan from October 3rd to October 16th, including another 3 event maps and 4 new event-exclusive yokai: Chocobo-nyan, Matano, Bandoboya, and Fuankan. After 11 months of hard, constant work on Puni Puni for Japan, NHN finished the year off with a gigantic 2-part anniversary event. The first part ran from October 17th to October 31st. It included 3 new event maps and 2 new bosses, Hinoshin and Hinoshin Awoken. These yokai were fittingly based on level 5 CEO Akihiro Hino. 7 new yokai were available on the new stages, 6 of which could have been put in Wib Wob. Masamune, Devourer, Sanma, Mr. Sanma, Hinoshin, and Hinoshin Awoken all could have been added to Wib Wob without any issues, while the rare Ishun boy hails from Yo-Kai Watch 3, so he should have been replaced. Special anniversary coins were available, just like in Wib Wob, but unlike Wib Wob, they weren't stupid 5-star coin reskins. They contained almost every past event crank. This correlated with the new Oni Crankakai, a special crank that contained almost every past event crank as well, such as Illuminact, Dark Hubie, and the Sagokshi yokai. That wasn't all, though it easily could have been. The final event we'll be covering is the second part of the anniversary celebration that ran from November 1st to November 14th, the Shonen Sunday collaboration event. It's an incredible crossover between Wib Wob and the manga magazine Shonen Sunday. Also known as the anime event, this is actually a manga event. It just so happens that the 4 manga featured in it also got anime adaptations. The manga crossing over with Wib Wob were Ushio and Tora, Ranma 1/2, Urusei Yatsura, and Inuyasha. The 3 new awesome event maps with a cool manga aesthetic were added along with 16 new yokai? I mean, 15 of them aren't actual yokai. Can you really call them that? Existential problems aside, these powerful yokai included Saotome Ranma, both male and female forms, Inuyasha, Lum, Tora, Aotsuki Ushio, S-rank versions of all of them, Lum Pink, Sesshomaru, Sesshomaru Awoken, and Hakumen no Mono. Most of these yokai were very powerful and exciting additions to the game. For example, Saotome Ranma S was the strongest moneymaker in the game, and the limited score attack big boss, Hakumen no Mono, could pop the entire board with more power than Lord Enma himself. Also, there were new profile icons available, themed alongside these new licenses. Wib Wob hasn't even gotten the Professor Layton icons yet. Speaking of which, it would be kinda redundant to say this for every event, but Puni Puni always gets event missions for their events with great rewards, while Wib Wob usually gets none at all. After the thrilling anniversary events, our coverage of Puni Puni's first year concludes as well. Let's take a look at some numbers, shall we? Over the past year, Wib Wob missed out on 17 events, 41 event maps if we count the Scramble Battles as 3 maps each, and, are you ready for this? 101 new yokai. 101. The amount of yokai that Wib Wob missed out on this year was 101. That's in the triple digits. But hey, at least we got Mimikin D, right? I hope you enjoyed this extensive look at everything Puni Puni got that Wib Wob didn't over its first year. Big shout out to Game 8 and Puni Puni Youkaipedia for providing event info and screenshots. Links to both are in the description. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments. Which of these events do you want the most in Wib Wob? I've got a lot of great Wib Wob content coming up, so subscribe and follow me on Twitter so you know when it hits. For more Yo-Kai Watch news and analysis, check out my website, mountwildwood.net. Stay tuned for another big Wib Wob video coming very soon, where we'll be covering Wib Wob's past year in detail.